Hello and welcome to World Fiddle Day 2021. So, fáilte gach duine tá sé enom rístan Kilora Villeri de Launa Gavila is a fehian agus tá solo go maybe rash rish le Kela and Blin Shakoi. So hopefully please God we'll be back together again so we can meet and play music together next year. But for this year, second year in a row, we have World Fiddle Day with a difference. Starting this morning, 12 o'clock on World Fiddle Day, a lot of different material, from new material on the archives to the concert as is traditional part. So welcome and thanks for joining us. So I'd like to invite Nickie McAuliffe, music teacher and fiddle player and musician of many other instruments as well, to launch World Fiddle Day 2021.
Dave, you're indeed very welcome to this great day when the fiddles will ring around the world. And it's my great pleasure here to set the wheels in motion here in Schlieve Lucra to launch World Fiddle Day 2021.
Okay, so we have a special treat for you now. There's 6 archive recordings which haven't been heard before, which you will now be free to listen to for the afternoon before the concert later on this evening. So there's 6 very special pieces of music, and I suppose PJ I know wants to thank the people who gave them to us. Brendan Hurley, that would be Dan Hurley, his son. Dan was a great box player from Schlieve Lucra who just passed away just 2 years ago. Dan's son Brendan gave recordings of Paddy Cronin, two archival materials of Paddy Cronin, and one of Kathleen O'Keeffe from Ballydesmond. And then Joe Thoma from Kenmare furnished the other 3, which are recordings of Julie Clifford, Willie O'Connell and Connie O'Connell. So enjoy those, and we'll talk about archives later in the afternoon.
So before I tell you about the musicians that are on the being added, I'll just tell you about where the tapes came from, because I don't want you just going away listening to the tapes and not hearing where they came from. There's 4 musicians being added, or music from 4 musicians, and 3 of the tapes came from the personal collection of the late Dan Hurley. They were donated by Dan's son Brendan, who's lovingly looking after that collection. And I mean, Dan did brilliant work himself, through his commercial recordings, through the books he published, and these are just some brilliant tapes that he had himself. And the recordings of the other musician, the last one were donated by Joe Thoma of Kenmare. And you can remember that Joe Thoma gave us the tape that was used for the recital, the 2018 recital, one of the best hour of music, fiddle music, any kind of music I think I ever played or went to or anything. Anyway, so let's get into the musician.
So welcome back. I'm here with Nickie McAuliffe to talk about the handed down archive material that's launched today and the larger material that's there in general. You can access it on World Fiddle Day, Scartaglin.ie. So Nickie, I suppose to ask you first, the importance of the archives in the first instance.
Well, I suppose when you think of the word archive, you think of a great Latin quotation. Let posterity be the judge. So I suppose that's what an archive is, that it's records preserved and recorded for the people who come after,
Okay.
And I think here with PJ's archive here in Schlieve Lucra, in a way it's a very unique archive, different from the National Archive, because it's the local music of Schlieve Lucra played by the musicians of Schlieve Lucra, which makes it very unique. A bit like, I suppose, go back to the Blasket Islands, where you have a library written by the people of the island, a very unique library as well.
Absolutely. Nickie, can I ask you, did you think that the style, you mentioned Schlieve Lucra style, is that being morphed by the fact that there's such access now to music from around the country, or do you still think there's still a uniquely Schlieve Lucra style of fiddle playing in particular and music in general?
Well, I think the style is still there, and long may it last. And now it's preserved in the archive, because now students can go and check this out and see how Dennis Murphy played, and Molly Myers played, and of course Paddy O'Keeffe.
Absolutely. And for young people, it's obviously the key, because they are on their phones, they have the access to devices. It's a great opportunity for them to stay close to our style of music, as we call it.
They can click on a button now and they have it up there, and that's it.
Thanks so much, Nickie. So, Nickie, you might just tell me about some local treasures that you've knocked across in the archives.
Yeah, PJ presented me lately with a collection of music from 1934. A young girl in those days, Josephine Reedy from the Scartaglin area. Later she became Mrs. Kathleen. Now, in this book, we found a few unusual pieces. One, and I had never seen it before, Paddy writing Scottishes, which are like barn dances or like flings. Sure. And I found a very unusual one there, which I had never heard. And Anne is teaching it now to various people around, and I think you could go back to Dunquin at the moment and you could hear that tune now. So that's one piece of importance for the archive.
Absolutely.
And a version of a polka called Spalpin Phonach, very unusual, which is a simple version. There would be three versions of it actually. There's one, The Girl I Left Behind Me, which is a very, very simple polka. Now, Paddy had another version, and there's also another version called The Girl I Left Behind Me in a book, O'Neill's Waifs and Strays, and there's a version from a Jeremiah Breen, a teacher from up in the North Kerry area, and his manuscripts were taken to America out to Francis O'Neill, and they were published by O'Neill with another version of the same tune. So there's a very interesting link there. Three versions of one tune. You know. So that's within archive. Again, you know, it's the lifeblood of research, I suppose, in archive. You know, and it also does something important as well. That it can bring back, I suppose, life to the dead. You know, in art form as well.
The music lives on forever.
Exactly. You know.
And I suppose an opportunity as well to invite people, if you have material at home, some of your relations perhaps that played music, the archive is continuously growing, so if you have material, any recordings in any condition with photographs to go with the musician ideally, PJ would be more than happy to put it into the archive and leave it there for people for the future. Thanks.
Steve, Liam O'Connell here from the Irish Traditional Music Archive here at 73 Merrion Square. I'm delighted to be contributing to today's World Fiddle Day and to be invited by PJ Tehan and all at the handed down Schlieve Lucra Music Archive. I am a huge fan of the work that's going on there over the last number of years. I've been so impressed having gone down there before I started working here in Nitma and to witness the local community really galvanised and passionate about creating an archive, and I suppose the motivation behind that is to inspire successive generations of young traditional musicians to draw on that wealth of archival recordings and the wealth of tradition and the great music that's in Sliabh Lucra and that has been in Sliabh Lucra for so long. It's recognised all around the world, anywhere where Irish music is played, that Sliabh Lucra is a very, very important regional style, and the music is special. And I think these archival recordings that are being made available online are hugely important, and they offer a great opportunity for young people, young and old. I'm not sure where I lie in that now at the moment, but young and old, where we can all learn from this great music, and that is something that is a primary goal of what we're trying to do here in the Irish Traditional Music Archive. We'd like to thank the local committee for entrusting us here with copies of the material that's been digitised. So it's very important for us on a national level to have links with local communities, and we have a great collection of Slieve Lucra music here as well, which we hope to bring to Scartaglin when it's next possible, and we hope to reciprocate the generosity that PJ has shown us. It's a complicated and layered process, archiving. You have to have digitized material, you have to have the trust of a community and donors, and then you have to make it available. And why do we do this? Because we're dealing with a living tradition, and we believe that our past can better inform our present and can better shape or give us the tools with which to shape a better future. So this morning I've been trying to carve out a bit of time to go through this handed down Schlieve Lucra music archive, and there's a track that PJ brought to my attention of Willie O'Connell playing a beautiful jig that I've been trying to learn, and I suppose as a practical example and a reminder to me of what archiving Irish traditional music is all about, is that it can inform and provide us with the tools which enjoy this great music. So congratulations to all, and we hope to see you soon. An open invitation to all interested in Slieve Lucra music to visit us here in Merrion Square or on our website, and we hope to see you all soon. Slán go fóill.
The first one is Kathleen O'Keeffe from Ballinaholla, back near Ballydesmond. She's the player in the first recording. There's nearly 20 minutes of really high quality fiddle playing here. Kathleen's known as a great musician on both the whistle and the fiddle, and there's already a recording which came from the Dan Hurley collection of Kathleen playing the whistle in the archive already. She's from a long line of fiddlers, and her uncle is a Patrick O'Keeffe student, and a name that's Jim Keefe. His name is like synonymous with Schlieve Lucra music. Tunes on it, mostly reels and jigs, and there's a nice version. It starts off with My Love in America, I think, or is it the Colliers? But then there's a really nice version of that tune that we all call Morrison's. A really interesting version of that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. The next recording that we're adding is from Paddy Cronin. So it's hard to get better than this. These recordings are dated from 97 and 2000, but listening to them, I wonder if they're not a bit older. in 2020, I did a presentation for the Hand It Down about the Monks of the Screw, and I recorded interviews for that. And they kept mentioning a tape of Paddy Cronin that was made by Dan Hurley, and it kept coming up over and over again. And there's tunes on this that are also appear on the second and third Monks of the Screw album. So I wonder if this is like an older tape and that those dates are kind of misleading. Or, I mean, he might have made it the tape again. He might tape the same tunes again. I'm going to play a little clip from that presentation because I think it shows the importance of these bits of music that were just passed around by musicians,
Like when Paddy Cronin came around, and like he made a tape, a home tape, and gave it to Dan Harley and said go away and learn that, and then gave out those tapes. Then we copied them and gave them on. That was the instruction, especially for Morris, and Harley to pass them on. And we learned a lot of music that way.
We got them tapes from Fiddle there. Still the most fantastic tapes I have anyway.
That one of Paddy Cronin was very good. There was a lot of tunes off of that.
Like I said, that kind of shows you how important passing around those old tapes was, and it shows you really what kind of a wealth of a resource that is the archive is becoming now. The next fiddler that we're adding to the archive is Willie O'Connell. Willie O'Connell was a student of Patrick O'Keeffe. I just did a check on the archive, and I think this might be the only recording of him that's in the archive. I might be wrong about that though. There's 13 minutes there, but it's surprising how much is crammed into it. It starts off with some hornpipes. There's really cool jigs actually, and back to some hornpipes and stuff, and a really kind of interesting sounding polka, kind of long meandering one, and it's just really great country fiddling, and it's probably the most Schlieve Lucra of the recordings that we've been adding. Now, if you thought Paddy Cronin was like a big marquee name, the next one I'm adding is from Julia Clifford. These are all recordings that were made around her trip to Kinmare in the winter of 1988. One of the tapes is a recital that she gave at the Lansdowne Arms, and it's really good. She's in flying form, deadly music and stuff. There's once or twice you can hear kind of traffic outside, or a bit of like a typical Irish pub gig, in that you can hear bits of talking, but they don't put it in the music, and it's just really good. The second part of the recording then is a bit different in that it's nearly 50 minutes of Julia being recorded by an American gentleman, and from the chatting it seems like he had met Julia and Bridgie in Scully's on the Monday before, and I did a bit of detective work. I think I know who it is, but I actually haven't been able to, or had time to make contact before making the video, so I won't say his name now, but it's a nice mix. It's there's chatting and music, like I said, but it's the music is brilliant, but when the chatting, you kind of get the impression maybe that Julia isn't that into being recorded or something, or she's just going through the motions. But then as well, you get kind of like Pure Gold, where she's saying that she's not into some new tunes written by a certain person, and she's in a lovely bit where she's talking about her dad and stuff like that, and he's playing and some advice that she had from him, and then, like I said, the tune playing and stuff is just great on it. Yeah, and I'd say the tape that was used for the recital in 2018 for World Fiddle Day recital, I'd say it must have been all. I'd say the three of these might even been recorded on the same day. You know, the two tapes that we have here and that one. They just some of the same tunes are creepy into them. But it's brilliant, especially if you're a Julia Clifford fan. This is like pure gold as well. Anyway, I better finish up. I'm under orders to keep this nice and short. I was told to do this as Schlieve Lucra musician in residence, so if you have a bit of time, or if you haven't seen some of the stuff that I've been doing in the last while, go over to slievelucra.ie and see some of the work. I did a YouTube series called the Schlieve Lucra series, and that's quite good. It's kind of a cross between Nationwide and the Handed Down and the Jules Holland show. And what else did I do? Oh, there's loads of things there. Oh, we launched a record label for Schlieve Lucra. There's two great records out there at slievelucra.bandcamp.com. One is by Brian O'Leary playing an album of original tunes. Then there's one by Maura O'Connor, another little album, and there's a third one. It's still forthcoming, or it might be out at this stage. Is a Maurice O'Keeffe celebration for the 20th anniversary of the Maurice O'Keeffe Festival. Other than that, I'll see you hopefully, and everyone have a brilliant weekend and enjoy all the crack. Okay, bye.
Okay, so that's it now for the afternoon. I hope you enjoy the archive material for the next number of hours, and we'll see you back, please God, at 7 o'clock, where we have a very interesting fiddle recital. The theme is Insights, where we give you an insight into, I suppose, the fiddle journey, where it's come from, the music, the path all the way to the current day, and then I suppose a challenge to those people who are going on the journey in the future. There's some lovely material in it, so please join us for that. Nickie and I will finish up. Before we do, I'd like to thank PJ, obviously, for putting all this together every year. It's a phenomenal amount of work behind the scenes, and we all appreciate it hugely. Thanks, PJ, for your work. Nickie and I will finish with a slide. Chase Me Charlie, I think his name is it? And it's from the 1952 recordings of Kerry Fiddles, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so we'll have a go at that, Nickie.